Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here. And yeah, guys, this is why when you hit that subscribe button over here, which by the way, if you haven't, you should, make sure you hit the notification bell because sometimes I go live kind of on a whim. And now that there's a few hours difference between myself and the lovely people on the East Coast, yeah, you never know when I'm going to go live. And yeah, guys, we got some, I don't know, something I think worth talking about in the news last night that we're going to get to and discuss. And that is this whole story of Kevin Williamson saying, I'm going to take a step back. I'm not going to do Scream 8. We'll get to, what he actually said about it. I'll give you guys my thoughts on kind of reading between the lines. Just intuition, just a feeling I've got, a gut feeling based on how these things kind of go in the industry. So I'm excited to, have that conversation with you guys. One reason why I'm doing this live and not doing it pre-recorded is, for a couple reasons. Number one, I've been fighting with my computer a little bit when it comes to my editing software. So I'm still trying to figure that out so it's not running as smooth or as quickly as I'd like. So sometimes it's just easier to go live. There you go. That's the simple solution. Another reason why is because I'm going to check out Undertone tonight at 7:45. And I knew I wasn't going to have time to, especially with what's going on with the computer, I wasn't going to have time to shoot and then edit and get a video out. So here we are. We're talking about it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live. And I'll probably clip this out and put it out as its own separate video as well. But yeah, I want to jump in, say what's up to everybody hanging out. Then I'm going to get to the news story. It's going to kind of just be, me on soliloquy for a little bit, a filibuster reading of the news story, and giving you guys my thoughts just as they're in my head and as I'm, reading everything to you. And then we'll jump in and we'll have a discussion after. So probably hang out for, I don't know, maybe an hour-ish tonight. I don't want to be, I don't want to push it as far as getting to the movie theater or anything like that. I'm actually, if you guys know Joe from Media Poop Shoot, we're actually going to go check out Undertone. So let me see if I can strong arm him into, taking a pic for social media to show, yes, we sometimes, we sometimes hang out with our nerdy brethren in person. All right, guys, I'm going to jump in and say what's up to y'all, and then we'll get going on this news story. I think there is kind of a lot to go through on this one, or we can make it a lot. So let's see what we got. We got Ghost in the Dark Hills hanging out. Can't hang, but watching it later. Thank you so much for the rewatch. Again, guys, I guess before I really jump into it, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. If you're watching after the fact, yes, please hit the like or the hype if you really dig it. And the best thing you can do really for the channel is just to share it with somebody that you think would dig what we do here. That is the best thing you could do. And all that stuff is totally free. How about it? We got Lamontre Giller, one of our great channel members, hanging out with us. What's happening, Lamontre? Great to see ya. Paula Fitzhenry, what's up, Paula? We got Mr. Antonis Andriotis, another one of our great channel members. What's happening, Antonis? We got Talking Star Wars. Ooh, asking me if there are any names I'd like to see. Talking Star Wars, thank you so much for being a channel member. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm going to star that message. After I go through the news article and give my thoughts there on the article, I will jump back on over to this question because that's a good one. The short answer is not off the top of my head, but I'm very interested to see, what you guys would say as far as like names that you think could step in and do this. And I'm also curious, what level of involvement you would like to see Kevin have, if any at all. I mean, I'll let you guys know what I would prefer and all that stuff, of course. We got Tia Nina jumping on in, another one of our great channel members. What's happening? Tia says perfect timing. Just got off from work. Hell yeah, Tia. Glad we could get you right at the right time. We got the lovely Miss Jamie Hart, our original Death Squad mod, our mama mod, and also one of our channel members. What's happening, Jamie? Hope you're doing well. We got Gina, aka My Chunky Jordy, popping in right before bed. All right, Gina, thank you so much for saying hi. Yeah, it's a little bit of a last minute thing here, but I don't know. Gina, I've got a super chat goal going right now. If we reach the super chat goal, I will host a bonus daytime stream tomorrow. So we'll do something Friday the 13th related. It will be like evening time UK. So it'll be early afternoon here stateside because at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, I'll be jumping on with Jason from Backtrack Cinema. We're going to watch Friday the 13th, Part 2, Part 3, and the final chapter. So this is just a bonus stream that I would do over here. And Gina, that would be like a nice little prime time for you out there in the UK. Thank you for jumping in and saying what's up. And thank you for being a channel member as well, Gina. Really appreciate you. We got Linda hanging out as well, another one of our great channel members. What's happening, Linda? I'm very excited to see what you guys have to say about all of this. And there you go. Princey is getting to celebrate early because it is Friday the 13th in Asia as of now. So yeah, get it rolling for us, Prince. Get it rolling for us. I love seeing that there. All right, we got Julie Lynn hanging out with us. What's happening, Julie? Thank you so much for jumping on in. One of our great channel members. Welcome, welcome. Is that Chewbacca's son? I can't even remember his name. Is that from the Star Wars Holiday Special? That's what that looks like to me. If I'm, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm off. We got Corey from Wilkie's Movies and Music kicking it with us. What's happening, Corey? Thank you so much for hanging out, brother. Hope you are doing well. Let's see what else we got going on. Gory Tiger is in the house. What's happening, Gory? Great to see you. Josh McKenna dropping a $1.99 says, I love that you don't rush replies to messages. Yeah, I don't rush replies to messages. You love that. All right. Yeah, I mean, you know, I try to get to everybody when I can. Last night was a little bit different. Thank you so much for the $1.99, Josh. Last night was a little bit different having Vin in the house. Usually when I have a guest, I'm much more, you know, focused on them. You know, just want to give them the respect of, you know, because they're giving up their time and everything. You guys were great in the chat last night, though. I appreciate you being able to hang when it's a little bit different, because usually I'm like, oh, hello, chat. Let me pet you. Let me pet you constantly, chat. Speaking of petting, we got Mud Nelson in the house. What's happening, Gavin? Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope all is well out in your neck of the woods. It is from the Star Wars Holiday Special. Watch that in real time. It truly sucked. Even at 6, I knew it was bad. Yeah, I've seen it on, you know, YouTube and everything. It's wild stuff, I'll tell you what, the holiday special. It's Friday the 13th here as well. Thankful I don't have to do stairs, as I always fall up them today. Yeah, just avoid anything treacherous on Friday the 13th. How about it? How about it, Gina? All right, let me see here, guys. I also have a poll there in the chat just to kind of gauge your feelings on, I don't know if you've seen this story yet. We're just about to get into it, but I'm just curious if you think that Kevin Williamson will be back for Scream 8. Voice your opinion in the poll. Right now we have 18 votes, and then half of you say right now it's a coin flip. So half of you are saying there's half a chance. And a third of you are saying, no way, didn't you listen? They're like, come on, Davey. You have poor reading comprehension skills, Davey Deathray. You know, maybe I do, but we're going to get into it, and I'll explain to you why I'm thinking the way that I'm thinking. Holy cow. And you know what? Out here, it's already hit. I think it got close to 100. Right now, it's like 86 out here in the desert. 6:30 out here, and it's 86. Fucking crazy, you guys. Fucking crazy. The desert is wild. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this story, and then we'll be free to kind of chit chat and discuss and all that kind of fun stuff. If I miss your chat for whatever reason, feel free to send it again. If you got something that's way off topic and you still want me to talk about it, then a super chat certainly helps, being that it's off topic. But yeah, we're gonna get into everything here. Oh my God, 24 people watching. You guys are amazing. Thank you so very much. Oh, here we go. Let's jump on over to this window here. And guys, because I'm going to clip this out and do it later, it's going to seem like a little bit of a performance. We'll see how this goes. So if you're like, why is he talking like it's a pre-recorded video? Because I'm pretending that it's a pre-recorded video. How about that? All right, here we go. All right, guys. So just last night, we got this story here, you know, with Kevin Williamson saying that he has no plans to return to Scream 8. I'm sure everybody, either, you know, the people that really love Scream 7, maybe there was a little bit of puckering up going on. And then the folks that really didn't like Scream 7, they might be like, oh my gosh, this is a great opportunity for, you know, somebody to step in and do something that, you know, maybe I would want. But yeah, it is very interesting here because Scream 7 is poised to be the highest earner in the franchise as far as the box office goes. So I'm curious to know what the studio's play is going to be here based on what Kevin has said, but let's go ahead and jump into this article. This comes to us by way of John Squires over at Bloody Disgusting, and it dropped just under a day ago. So it was kind of later news on Wednesday the 11th. So let's see what they got here. The article says, Scream 8 hasn't been given the green light, but it seems inevitable given the smash hit success of Scream 7. The 7th installment in the 30 years long slasher saga has already scared up $150 million at the box office, likely on its way to becoming the highest grossing installment in the entire franchise. So yeah, it's very likely that Scream 8 isn't going to be far behind. But will Kevin Williamson be back to direct? Williamson, of course, wrote the original movie and stepped into the director's chair for the first time in the franchise with Scream 7, but he reveals in a new chat with Hello Sydney that he's not likely to play the same role for Scream 8. Quote, I think the next Scream, I'll probably step back, Williamson tells the fan site. I want to direct another film that I have written. That is just waiting for me to find the time to direct. Right now I'm working on a couple TV shows. Maybe I'll direct one of those. Who knows? End quote. And all right, I want to talk about that really quick here. So I'm going to jump back on over here. I want to talk to you guys about this blurb right here. I just want to break it down piece by piece. He says, I think the next Scream, I'll probably step back. So obviously probably is just like, that's his inclination right now. You know, he's not like, oh my gosh, I have to have this movie, which is fair because he says right after that he has another movie that's already written that he would like to direct. So something outside of Scream, and he's just trying to find the right time to do that. And then, of course, he's working on a couple TV shows. So I think, and you know, I'll let you guys know my general feeling. I think there's a bit of a bargaining chip kind of thing going on here because Scream 7 is poised to be the highest grossing movie in the franchise. They're probably going to want Kevin Williamson back, right? I mean, you would imagine they would make that play. Now he says, I want to direct another movie that I've written. So maybe in the back of his mind, he's like, oh, you know, if I say that I'm like not as interested or maybe going to step back on the next one, perhaps when they, you know, come to me to make Scream 8, maybe they sweeten the deal by, you know, maybe financially sweeten it, maybe as far as like complete control, sweeten the deal that way. Or they could say, hey, you want to do this other movie? Like, we'll make sure that other movie happens. Come on board. Let's take care of Scream 8. Let's put you in at the helm. Like, you get to do whatever you want with that movie, including he could hire other people to come on in and help him write it if he has an idea. So we'll talk about that. But yeah, this to me feels like he's sort of setting it up of like, yeah, I probably will step back because I have this other stuff I want to do, and kind of laying the groundwork for the studio to come to him and sort of, you know, put a deal in front of him, the Godfather deal, the deal that he just can't refuse. So with that being said, let's get into the rest of the quote here from Kevin. All right, I'm going to switch back over here. You guys get to see all the behind the scenes stuff. It's very, very fun. Let's see, all this will just be edited out in the clipped out video. Williamson says later in the interview, quote, I have some ideas of where it could go, but I'm anxious to see what another storyteller could do with it. It's nice to be a part of the Scream family. That doesn't mean I always have to be front and center. I don't always have to write or direct. Other people can take the reins, and I'm excited to see what other storytellers come up with, end quote. But he also adds, I'm hopeful there will be a Scream 8, and I'm sure he's right about that one. Let me just make sure there's nothing else here I want to talk about. Yeah, we don't need to get into the television projects. We're here to talk and speculate about Scream 8. How about it? So let me jump back on over here. All right. So yeah, guys, when he says I have some ideas of where it could go, that tells me, okay, so he already knows. He has multiple options of where they could take this story. He says I'll probably step back, but he has ideas. So, you know, to me, it's kind of like I have this idea or this this notion that when Neve Campbell, you know, came back for Scream 7, I think, you know, and we don't know this isn't confirmed yet. Maybe someday the question will be asked. We all know that she wanted to be paid more fairly, right, than what she was offered for Scream 6. So they figured out the payment side for Neve. I just have a hunch that another one of her stipulations was that she wanted Kevin back. You know, she wanted Kevin there to hopefully direct, I would imagine, because they had talked about that for, going back to like the second or third movie, something like that. And, I just wouldn't be surprised if that was like a bargaining chip, like bring Kevin back. Let's have us make this movie, yada, 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 rest is history. And I think I'm getting a similar vibe here from what Williamson is saying. I really do think that this is, I don't think he's playing hardball or anything, but I think he's just kind of putting it out there of like, yeah, I'm not like married to this. I'm not desperate to do this, but I have ideas of where it could go. And he even knows, he's probably got an idea of other people that he'd like to bring in, because he's talking about, having other storytellers come in and that he doesn't have to be front and center. So what if he directs, writes the story, doesn't write the screenplay, something like that? I don't know. I would imagine the studio is going to make a pretty big pitch to get him to come back. Obviously, because Scream 7's wildly successful. And I think another side of that is, they just, on top of wanting to replicate that, they know that a lot of the mainstream fans, which Scream is a mainstream franchise, they know these people like what Kevin puts out there. And you have that name attached to this franchise, it's more likely to do well than not. So yeah, those are my thoughts here on this one. I know it sounds right now, somebody reached out to me, they were like, oh my God, we're being like left for adoption again or something like that. But I'm like, I don't think it's that bad. I don't think there's any reason for us to panic, especially, the people that really like Scream 7 and like the direction that Kevin has always pushed the franchise. I don't think there's anything to be like, oh my God, now he's definitely not coming back. I think this is just the beginning of a negotiation process. I'm not saying that he's definitely coming back or anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if we have some continued talks, because I think most people, including the studio, would want Kevin back for Scream 8. And I know Neve would as well. So those are my thoughts on this one. I'm curious to know what you guys think, whether you're watching live or you're watching after the fact. Jump into the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let's get that conversation going. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell, and that way you won't miss a thing. Okay, guys, let's see what y'all are saying here in the live chat. Let's get y'all roped in here. That wasn't so bad. I can't believe, usually I make tons of mistakes when I'm reading live. Not so much when I'm doing it pre-recorded. When I'm reading live, I make mistakes. So that was actually pretty all right. Only like 10 lashings, after I get off the live stream. Okay, let me jump in and see what you guys are saying here. Really, guys, let's just have an open discussion. You've heard my thoughts. You know which way I'm leaning on this. I'm curious to know, if you guys if you want him back, and then what the odds are that you think, that this is just the beginning of a negotiation process. Very, very curious. All right, let's see what we got here. It was 60 yesterday and snow today. That's how it can be out there, dude. East Coast. Yeah, it's wild. Pissing down and cold here. Oh, I miss the rain. I miss the rain. At this point, we don't even know because it hasn't even been green lit. So I'd imagine, Tia, once we get that press release that and officially green lit, everything I've heard is that they've been quietly working on it in the background. So, once we get that official, Variety comes out and is like, boom, here it is. It's green lit. This is what the budget is, blah, blah, blah. We may get a better idea when they send out that press release. Like, this will be written, like they might not have a director lined up, but they would probably know who's going to write the movie by the time they announce it. Usually that's how I see things put out there. Gina says, I think this is because all the talk about 7 and him defending decisions made. Yeah, I mean, like, either way, like whether people liked 7 or not, the proof is in the pudding as far as the box office goes. So the studio is going to see it and they're going to be like, well, yeah, some of the hardcore fans didn't love it, but like about half of them really did. And the mainstream, the people in the general audience that maybe they don't love horror, but they love Scream, those people all showed up to the movie theater because, guys, even though Scream 7 took a 73% decrease in its second weekend, it still finished second in the box office and only next to Hoppers, which good luck beating when a kid's movie comes out on a weekend where no other big movies are coming out. So I wasn't surprised at all that it didn't take number 1 a second week in a row because of, kids movies bring in lots of money. And then even The Bride was behind it, you know, so there was a significant drop, but it still had a good second week, relatively speaking. So yeah, you know, I think maybe there is a little bit of him just sort of not wanting to overcommit to it until they really have something worked out. But it's, man, people use their all sorts of negotiating tactics as far as making negotiations public, you know, and he's talking about some stuff he'd like to do. And maybe if the studio can come to him and say, hey, Kevin, we understand that you don't feel like you need to be here for Scream 8, but we would like to help you get some other things done that you want to get done. So why don't you sign a deal with Paramount? We'll help you get this other movie going and come back for Scream 8. And we'll figure out what that means as far as what your responsibilities are. I would personally love Kevin to come back to direct. And maybe, I don't even know if I said that when I was doing the news part of it. So maybe I need to insert a little aside for that news bit. Because I would like to see Kevin come back to direct. You know, the director's primary job is getting good performances out of the actors, and I think the actors killed it in Scream 7. I think there are a lot of really good performances there. You can gripe about what was on the script or what was in the script and all that kind of stuff, but I think the performances were really strong. So I would like to have Kevin come back because of that. Now, if he doesn't want to write every single line of dialogue, maybe he just wants to help write the story, I'm totally cool as long as he's the one picking the people that are working underneath him. Like, I would prefer that, you know. I've learned in my older years to trust some of these people, you know, like I trust Sam Raimi to hire people for Evil Dead. You know, like you have to at some point sort of allow yourself to, you know, to trust that the creators that you respect and whose work you enjoy, that they've got the wherewithal to, you know, pass the baton, so to speak. So yeah, I want him to direct, and if he doesn't want to be, you know, if he doesn't want it to be all consuming, I totally understand. But I'd love to have him back for at least one more. It would be really cool. And to have him build it from the ground up, that would be my preferred, you know, write, direct, all that. Just let's go ahead and build the house from the ground up. And then that way we can hand it off to somebody after Scream 8 and sort of set it on a new trajectory, because Scream 7 was Kevin working with what had been done, you know, since Scream 4, which is the last time he was like really, really involved. So there's a little bit of a cleanup, reclamation kind of going on. Scream 8 could be, all right, here's the new launch pad. This is the trajectory we're going in. And then you could hand it off to somebody else. And maybe at that point, we've got Tatum as the lead in the franchise. So yeah, those are my thoughts on what I would prefer, but let me know what you guys would prefer down in the comments. Okay, now I'm going to jump back over to you guys. Thanks, guys. That was a little like shoot the news part, have a chat with you guys, shoot the rest. Blu-ray Addict, what's happening, Blu-ray? So great to see ya. Jamie says, we're all part of the making of the Deathray news. That's right. Sometimes you got to pull back that curtain because it's just, you know, like I said, fighting with my computer and all that stuff, and just to save time, it's just easier to do it this way. Talking Star Wars says, I forget the source, but apparently Neve pitched an awesome Scream 8 story to Kevin before his story got announced. Well, there you go. And thank you for saying something again, Talking Star Wars, because you reminded me to bring up this chat from earlier. Any names that I would like to see taking over for Kevin? You know, I have such a tough time like fan casting writers and directors, because usually if there's a writer or director that I really like, I just want them to like kind of do their own thing and not get bogged down and brought into somebody else's property. But there's certainly a whole bunch of filmmakers out there that I think could make a really good Scream film, right? I mean, let's just have some fun. Like Eli Roth making a Scream movie would be a hell of a lot of fun. He's already got Thanksgiving, so he doesn't need to come over to Scream, but that would be a total blast. Who else do we got that would be fun? Rian Johnson, just kidding. Do we just want to completely derail this thing? Like, let's make what Radio Silence did look like chump change and bring in Rian Johnson. No, I don't know. Like somebody had said to me earlier, like, you know, Filippo brothers. And I'm like, I get it. Like they're really good filmmakers. If I were them, I wouldn't want to touch Scream at all. I would just be like making my own thing, because you're just going to be roped into the controversy at this point. So, you know, Talking Star Wars, I'm sorry that I don't have a great answer for you, but it's probably a filmmaker whose work I'm not even really aware of at this time, but could really use or has earned an opportunity through, you know, the filmmaking they've done up to this point. Most of the filmmakers that I can think of are people that I just want to, you know, them to keep on doing what they're doing already, essentially. So I know it's kind of a non-answer, kind of a crappy answer. But yeah, I don't know. Give it to Vincent DeSanti. How about that? Let's see here. What else do we got? Make sure I didn't miss anything here. I think I missed a couple. Okay, there we go. I'm right back with you. Really hoping Kevin will be back to at least write Scream 8. I don't want any more people fucking with my favorite franchise. I have such PTSD from Radio Silence butchering everything. Yeah, it's, you know, that's the tough thing. And that's I think what makes it tougher, like bringing in somebody, you know. It's like I saw what Critical Overlord had one that he, you know, threw out there on Twitter that was like the people that made Housemaid. So yeah, if you brought in like Paul Feig to make a Scream movie, I think he could do it. I don't know why Paul Feig would want to do it though, I guess is like the angle that I think of it as, you know. It's like, yeah, I didn't enjoy Housemaid. It wasn't a poorly made movie or anything. I could see those people making a Scream movie, but just why? And so that's usually what I ask myself, guys, when it comes to like, you know, what do you think about this or what do you think about that? I'm like, well, why would that happen from a financial standpoint? And why would that happen from a creative standpoint? Like, why would somebody who already has a career that's rocking and rolling, you know, risk jumping into Scream and risk making the worst movie in the franchise or being embroiled in all of this like political side drama that really has nothing to do with the finished product? It doesn't have anything to do with what's on film, and it doesn't have to do with the story of, you know, of Scream. So there's just, you're like going to be catching all sorts of strays. And, you know, I don't know if we're ever going to get a straight answer on this, but it seems like Christopher Landon left in large part because of the political stuff. It sounds like maybe they didn't really jive on where they wanted to take the story, but then once the, you know, everything with Melissa Barrera blew up, he backed out and was like, oh, it sucks and all that kind of stuff. And who knows if we'll ever get a straight answer, but it seems like he didn't want any part of the fallout, you know. So I don't know. I think the studio is going to be in a spot where they are going to approach Kevin with a Godfather deal. You know, once they're ready to greenlight, they're going to be like, what do you need? What do you want? We want you back. Like, what are the requirements to get you to come back? And I think the ball should be in his court at this point. You know, you step in, it's the second movie he's ever directed. It's going to be the, you know, highest grossing film in the franchise of $1 billion franchise. So a pretty good chunk of that $1 billion is going to be coming from Scream 7. They're going to want him back. Let's see what else we got going here. Oh shit! So talking Star Wars must be Shannon. All right, there we go. Antona says I have not seen Scream 7, so I can't really speak on this. But who do you think will direct it? That's the thing, is I just don't know. You know, it's going to be probably some up and comer, or I just don't know. I mean, who? Like, you guys tell me. I mean, sometimes I think that you guys in the audience have your ear to the ground about, you know, a whole bunch of stuff that I totally miss. Like, I get, you know, I'm really into like the horror news, but I'm into like the old school kind of stuff. And I might miss like newer movies where it's like, oh, this filmmaker would be really fun. So yeah, I don't know. You guys let me know. We got Eli Cortez jumping on in, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods. What's happening, Eli? Holy cow, guys. 30 people hanging out. You all are amazing. Please hit that like button if you haven't already and subscribe, guys. We're getting very, very close to 2,800 subs. We are like 10 away right now. So that means we're getting very close to 3,000 subs, which is pretty damn cool if you think about it. Let's see here. I'm going to close this poll so I don't forget to close it. Sometimes I forget. It's true. Will Kevin Williamson be back for Scream 8? 34 votes from you guys, and 53% of you say right now it's a coin flip. And I think that's kind of where we're at. Like, if I'm being realistic, of course I want to, like, you know, just have the courage of my conviction to be like, I know I'm going to be right about this. But I think there's going to be serious talk. So I still think it's a coin flip, even though he's saying, nah, I'm stepping back. 29% of you, almost a third of you, are like, no, wait, didn't you listen? And I guess what I have to say to you guys is, after reading the news story and just hearing what I had to say in response to his quotes from the news story, Do you feel a little bit different? Like, do you think that maybe it wasn't that I didn't listen, it's just that maybe I'm picking up on something in what he's saying, I'm reading between the lines, maybe I'm trying to squeeze juice out of the fruit that just isn't there. But I think the way that these business dealings work in entertainment and in sports, there's always something going on under the surface. The things that are being said are, generalized hints at what's bubbling underneath the surface. And anything can happen at any time is what I've learned about, when you're talking business and you're talking millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, potentially, which is what they could make off of Scream 8 is probably what they're thinking right now. Then, man, you can't count any of this stuff or you can't say that it's off the table just because he says he's going to step back. Like, until they announce that it's happening and he's not taking part, I will believe that there is a really good chance he could be taking part. And then 18% of you said, yeah, he's bluffing. So a pretty, almost 20%, almost a fifth of you are like, oh, he's totally bluffing. So not so bad there. Not so bad. Okay, let me see what else we got going on here. Linda says, I think you're making a great point about Kevin being savvy and laying the lines down for negotiations to get his passion project funded. Yeah. I mean, people do that all the time in Hollywood, right? Like, oh, if you can make my little dream come true, I'll come back and I'll make your little movie. Yeah. Thank you so much for the reminder, Eli. Yeah, guys, do all that free, fun stuff that you can. That's true too. Yeah. Hoppers came out on a spring break. The thing about kids movies is if they do well, you're getting kids tickets and you're getting adults tickets, so you're getting that blend. And I would imagine with a movie like that, spring break, you're getting like birthday parties going to the movies and all sorts of stuff. So we got Aaron Click jumping on in. What's happening, Aaron? Great to see you, man. Thank you for hanging out. Let's go. We're getting closer to Scream X with Uber Ghostface. Yes. Get that metal mask that they used in Scream 5 for the Stab 7 trailer. We got Jigsaw dropping a $2 and saying, hello, I want to play a game. What's happening, Jiggy? Thank you so much for the 2, man. Really appreciate you. Linda says, my absolute wish would be Kevin writing and directing Scream 8. If I could only have one, I would much rather have him write the screenplay. I think so, too, because, man, even though he's in his, late 50s, early 60s at this point, I don't know. He still writes these characters in a very believable way. And to step in and be able to write, Chad and Mindy, I think is pretty cool too. Characters he didn't create, but characters, I know he's spoken really highly of Mindy, so characters that he enjoys. The guy really is, his biggest talent is writing scripts. So of course you'd want him there. Yeah. And I just thought we should do something different. Shut the fuck up, Ryan. Get away from movies forever. I still think Landon would have made a great Scream movie. I think so too. I think he's got the chops. Totally. I actually never opened with that before. I know you never. I figured, I was like, does this person even like the Saw movies, or is Jigsaw just, is it something else? They just like puzzles. I don't know. You never know. Maybe talk to Christopher Landon. Yeah. Who knows? He might be, if it is for political reasons, then he's probably, am I going to get in trouble for this? If it's his own personal beliefs, then he's probably up his own ass still too much to agree to it, I would imagine. If it was like his decision to be like, to back out for political reasons, then he's probably going to be pretty steadfast. We don't see much wavering going on when it comes to that, especially with, creative types in Hollywood. So Derek says, we need a new director for 8. Bring Landon back. Well, he's never been there. So, he's never directed a Scream movie. So, but I think he could do a good one for sure. Sam Raimi's Scream movie would be fucking crazy. I would not say no. I would not say no one bit. Like, I'd be totally into that. Like, bring it on. Bring it on. They were threatening his family. Landon isn't ever coming back. Oh. Don't we have such lovely people in the Scream fandom? Christopher Landon's style and vision seems like a close match for Scream. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You never know. We got Brett from Good Real Hunting jumping on in, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods. What's happening, Brett? Great to see you. Don't see Kevin being available though. It really sounds like he has some other projects going on right now or very soon. Aaron, you may have missed the part where I covered the article because yeah, I think he's using all that as a bargaining chip. So I think he's basically like, I really want to do this movie, and then I'm like, got these shows I want to direct. Now the shows that he might already have a deal in line for that, because it looks like, what did the article say? The article says for the shows, Universal Monsters series. So, you know, it's based on Universal Monsterland. I get to play with some of those characters like Dracula and Frankenstein. So that seems like a fun kind of side thing. It doesn't seem like anything, you know, that would pull him away. But if Paramount comes to him and they're like, dude, you want to make your movie? We'll make your movie happen. Can we knock out Scream 7 before? Do you think we can get Scream 7 out by Halloween of 2027 and then you can do your movie after? I don't know, man. I think I'd like, if I were in that, like, I just try to put myself in that space and then also pay attention to when other deals go down and why other deals go down. And a lot of ways that these deals get figured out is the studio giving the director something that they want, you know? I mean, John Carpenter came back to do, so what did John Carpenter, so he had to come back to write, is that what it was? He had to come back to write Halloween 2, I think, because he wanted to break contract to do The Fog, right? So it's something similar though, where Irwin Yablans was like, hey, you don't have to come back to direct Halloween 2, but I need you to come back and write it and produce it. And if you break that, then I'm gonna, you know, we're gonna have to go to court, but at least come back and write it, and then you can go make The Fog, you know, with the other studio. So I don't know. I think it's possible. I know I'm getting hung up. I'm getting hung up on a dream, guys, just like the zombies. Jigsaw dropping a $5 says, let's go spank that saucer like button or Ghost Space gonna call ya. There you go. Where are we at with the, oh my gosh, we are 7/10 the way there. How much longer do we have? 14 minutes? Guys, we can definitely reach this super chat goal, and then I will be going live during the day tomorrow before the epic marathon stream. We'll be going live. Antonis, but Jiggy, thank you for the 5, of course. Really appreciate you. Antonis Andriotis dropping a $5 says, whatever happened to Chris at Movie Misfits YouTube channel? I miss his live streams. I really miss him too. You know, I can't talk for anybody else. I love Chris. I really like his content. We worked together on an Indiana Jones retrospective that I had a really fun time putting together with him. And I really love the Movie Misfits stuff as well. Really dug the streams, the watch parties and all that. You know, I think it's just kind of life stuff, and people just end up having to prioritize certain things in their life. So, yeah, I don't know exactly why, but I really miss it too, you know? I really miss it too. That's just, I've learned that through being a content creator for a while, Antonis, that I try not to dig in and pry, you know, into people's lives or anything like that. But yeah, sometimes people just need breaks or need to focus on other things. We got Killbot Roderick saying Davey for Prez. Beady, Davey for Prez. That would be awesome. That would be so much fun. Guys, I'd be like, guys, check this out, America. I'm only going to be in for 4 years. Like, we're going to fucking uproot and we're going to get crazy. Like, you're not going to need 8 years of me, because I'll be lucky to live through the 4. That's how crazy it's going to get. We have Scream watch parties on the South Lawn. Let's fucking go. All right, what else do we got here? Linda says, I was 50-50 now. I think he will be back. He's in a perfect position for negotiations. Yes, that's why I love chatting with you guys about this stuff and diving into these news stories, because it's not like I don't have all of the industry experience. I just nerd out and pay a lot of attention to it. I don't have any inside connections. I've just got intuition and just, you know, picking up on a feeling. And I love being able to talk it out with you guys to be like, am I circling the drain here? Or am I just like way off? You know, like, are we close? And yeah, it'll be really interesting to see where this goes. I mean, guys, before they announced Scream 7, who thought that Neve was going to come back? And then once it started to like fall apart with, oh, this director isn't going to do it, and now this one isn't going to do it, whoever thought that Kevin Williamson was going to come back? So, you know, I think it's very likely that they're going to just want to kind of stand pat and keep it consistent here. Boom! Jigsaw dropping a $2 says, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Thank you so much, Jiggy. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. He's bluffing. Kevin 60. There we go. So, I mean, but he's able to write these high schoolers. I'm like, I thought the dialogue in Scream 7 was great. So there you go. We got Nanette Blood Rose Horror Fairy joining us, one of our great channel members. How you doing, Nettie? Welcome on in. 31 amazing people in here and only 20 likes. Oh my gosh, you guys. We have like 40 people in here now. It is crazy. I'm trying to catch up with the chat, guys. I promise. We got Jason Carpenter dropping a $5. Says, I've lost all respect for the YouTubers waiting to hate on Scream 7 from the get-go, no matter what they did. And I'm not going to name anyone's names because you know what? And here's the thing, Jason, thank you so much for the $5. I don't want to say their names because I don't want somebody to like take a clip out of context or anything like that. I think there are totally legitimate reasons to not like Scream 7. And I actually haven't watched like everyone's reviews, Jason, just because the discourse has been so ugly surrounding the movie. And so I haven't watched everyone's full reviews. I have an idea of what people have said, and I've, read little blips and blurbs and stuff like that. So I think there are legit gripes, just like with any other movie. I happen to really enjoy Scream 7, and I didn't go into the movie saying I'm like, no matter what, I'm going to stand by this movie. And hopefully nobody did that. And then on the flip side, hopefully no one went in and was like, no matter what, I'm not going to like this movie. It can feel like that from certain corners of our community. I'm not saying that I'm feeling that for many of the people you've listed. But there have been certain things that I've heard where I'm like, man, it just sounds like this person knew that they weren't going to like it, but they waited until it came out to just like, to really, show the disgust or whatever. But whatever. I mean, I could be wrong. That's like, could be my misinterpretation. So I will say this, like, I was shocked to see some of the crashing out that I saw, but it's just a movie. Like, it's not going to change the way I feel about anybody personally. Unless somebody came after me and attacked me for the way I felt about the movie, then I would just, I guess, think that's really silly, which is why I don't want to do it, with anyone else, especially other content creators. But I really do appreciate the $5. And I do think that in general, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, hey, I didn't like this movie. It didn't really work for me. I think people should feel free to do that. And then, sometimes you can get the vibes when it's just feeling a little personal, for sure. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. Really appreciate you. Holy cow. Eli is using a membership chat. He's been a member for 19 months, guys. Holy shit. Eli, thank you so much. And he says, don't forget to slash that like button and sub to this amazing channel. Thank you so much, brother. Really do appreciate you. We got Good Real Hunting's link in the chat there. $2 from Jigsaw says 7 Heaven. Where are we at right now? Oh my gosh, you guys, we reached our super chat goal. Let me really catch up and we'll get going here. Hey, Davey, just popped in to say hello. Got a busy day tomorrow, says Zach. So I'm going to continue my journey of watching every episode of The Simpsons and then go to bed. Ooh, The Simpsons is a great show. I love that show. Chris Schober. What's happening, Chris Schober says, what about the direct Heart Eyes? The Heart Eyes director. I could be down with that. I think I can't even think of the person's name, but I enjoyed Heart Eyes quite a bit. So yeah, obviously, yes, that person, they've got that, they've got what it takes to put together that sort of movie, that whodunit slasher. See, this is exactly why I ask you guys who you would want to have do it. Cause there are certain spots that I just, it's a blind spot or just something that I don't think of because I'm live and trying to think of everything. All right, here, let's see what else we got going on. We got Talking Star Wars dropping another super chat here. $5 says, I highly recommend watching this movie called Don't Hang Up. It's like Saw and Scream. Maybe the director could do 8. All right. Don't Hang Up. All right. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm actually going to bring that up over on my Google. Don't Hang Up. All right. 2016. Does that sound like the right one there, Shannon? Greg Sulkin, Garrett Clayton, Bella Dane, Sienna Guillory, Yeah, I have not heard of this film before. 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb. I mean, I'm not really surprised with horror that it's not getting all the love in the world. But perhaps I gotta check that out. Yeah, I am so dumb when it comes to up and coming filmmakers. Like the only ones I know are people that like, you know, Sam Raimi grabs Sebastian Vanacek, and then they got Lee Cronin, you know, years back to do Evil Dead Rise. So those always pop up in my head. You know, I really like Damien Rugna, who did Terrified and When Evil Lurks. I really like him. I heard him say that he really wants to do a Friday the 13th movie. So sounds like he wants to do something that's a little more slasher and not as much you know, esoteric supernatural, kind of like what he's worked in previously, you know, sort of Evil Dead kind of territory. So, I mean, shit, like if Damien Rugna wanted to do something like a Scream movie, some sort of slasher, whodunit slasher thing, I'd be down for that as well. What's happening, Max? Great to see you, man. Hope you are doing well. And I guess technically it's Friday the 13th out there. So happy Friday the 13th out to you in the UK. I mean, really, you could dissect every Scream movie for its flaws and mistakes. Yeah. Well, sure. Wait, you know, there's recency bias that goes in a positive way, and then there's recency bias that goes in a negative way, for sure, when these movies come out. I always try to take a step back and judge things as fairly as possible. I'm not perfect at it. Like, obviously, like, you know, I still say that the first Evil Dead movie is my favorite in the franchise. It is my favorite. I know it's not the technically best made movie in the franchise, so we all have our little biases and stuff like that. So yeah, I think you're right on though, Jason, that we see things, we give things a pass in certain Scream movies, and then we criticize it in the movies that, you know, we didn't like as much, even though we were okay with it in the movies we really like. So yeah, I totally hear what you're saying there. Antonis just dropping a $4.99 just for the hell of it, for the smell of it, as Salt and Pepper would say. There we go. Thank you so much, Antonis. Really appreciate you, bud. You don't have to drop blank super chats, Antonis. It's very, very sweet, but you can always ask me a question if you want. I just feel like when those involved in the industry say they have other projects commitments, they usually stay the course on those. And maybe it's because he's only directed 2 movies in 27 years that I'm sort of like, yeah, I don't know. You know, is he really going to hold out for that? Or yeah, I don't know. It'll be curious to see what happens. I would imagine in the coming weeks, within the next couple weeks, we should get an announcement, like an official green light announcement on Scream 8. And then we'll know more by then, Aaron. They might not announce a director, but, you know, hopefully they would when they announce that green light there. All right, let's see what else we got here. Who are these people? Right? I got to stop being... I can be grumpy about some things too. Yeah. But here's the difference too. I know we're kind of talking about Scream in a roundabout way. Or, you know, we're talking about Scream 8. We're really not, you know, drudging through all the Scream 7 stuff. But I have noticed, and maybe it's just my feed, what the algorithm is giving me. But I'm noticing that a lot of because there's continued Scream 7 talk for sure. I'm noticing that a lot of it is from people that didn't really like the movie. I've noticed that a lot of the people that liked the movie, enjoyed it, they have moved on seemingly a little bit more, at least whatever's dropping in my feed. So there definitely are group therapy sessions. We had that with Stranger Things, right? So I'm not above it. I'm not above being upset with the direction that a franchise goes in. So, you know, I can't really hate on him or anything like that. Anna Camp got told to make her own motive for Scream 7. You know, talking Star Wars, Shannon, thank you so much for the 2. I have seen little blurbs on that. I haven't watched all those little interview bits. That's not good when an actor or actress is like, yeah, they didn't really know what they were doing with my character. That's not good. For me, the motive and everything still works out, but that's not the way to go about writing your movie. So again, stuff like that is, and rightfully so, it's giving ammo to people that didn't enjoy the movie, right? So, and again, I think that a lot of the people that didn't like the movie, they've got legitimate reasons. And then I've heard reasons that I think could be, you know, discussed and, you know, kind of worked through. But certain things in there, you know, every movie's got worthy gripes. And there it is. Whoop, there it is. In fact, a $2 super chat there from Jigsaw. And I think that completes our super chat goal. I'm all caught up on you guys with that. So yeah, guys, tomorrow I will host a bonus daytime stream. I think what I'm going to do, because I was originally going to make top 13 kills from Friday the 13th franchise. I was going to make that a pre-recorded video, but guys, I really am fighting with my computer, and I'm just like, I don't know. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to work that into the live tomorrow, and then I can cut it out, paste it as its own thing or whatever, clip it out as its own thing. But I'll prep that for you guys tomorrow, and we'll just have some Friday the 13th kind of fun. I'll have to cook something up. I don't know, maybe some trivia, something like that. We'll have a good time. Yeah, that's why I'm calling it, I've heard other people be like, oh, Scream 7 is the H2O of the franchise. No. It is the Halloween Ends of the franchise, because the division on the division as far as the polarizing viewpoints of this movie seem very dug in, So that's why it reminds me of Halloween Ends. It wasn't enough that people didn't like that movie. It's like they had to say it was the worst movie they'd ever seen. You know what I mean? And we're definitely seeing that from Scream 7. And whatever, I'll be honest about it. Like, I think on the flip side, at least with Halloween Ends, I haven't seen people being too obnoxious about Scream 7, about liking Scream 7. But I think for Halloween Ends, I'm a huge fan of it, of course. I think sometimes the people that love Halloween Ends can just because it's so aggravating to see people say terrible things, like, sure, maybe I have a little bit of petty feelings towards the people that don't like Ends. Not all of the people, but when I see people say certain things, those people get targeted scorn from me. How about that? I think this is a very Ends friendly channel, and I'm very friendly with a lot of people that don't enjoy that movie. So there we go. Derek likes Resurrection more than Ends. So, and I would say Resurrection is, probably the worst in the franchise, I would say. We did hit the goal. Yes, Shannon, and you were part of it. Thank you so very much. Thank you for being a channel member. Guys, I have got to head out in about 10-ish minutes. So I'll probably talk for about another 5 minutes or so. In case you miss it, I'm not just running away just to run away. I love you guys. I would never run away just to run away. I am driving out to the theater. It's actually a theater that's a little further away because it has a Dolby Cinema. And I'm going to be checking out Undertone with our guy, Joe from Media Poop Shoot, who is out here in the Phoenix area as well. So we're going to meet up right out near where the Cardinals play. It's a place called Westgate here in the Phoenix area, technically in Glendale, Arizona. But yeah, so I'm going to be heading out over there to check out Undertone. I will come home and I'll shoot a short review. No spoilers, so look for that to drop on the channel later on today. And let me just make sure I'm not missing anything big here on the chat as far as Scream 8 goes here. What's happening, Ben? How are you doing? Are you rolling your eyes at me, Ben? Are you rolling your eyes at me? Oh, because of the Ends talk or what? I'm like, what did I do to piss off Ben? Oh no. Yeah, I think Hard Eyes is fun. Yeah, it didn't like, blow the doors off the place or change the world or anything like that, but it's like, it's fun. Oh yeah, Josh Rubin. Okay, that name is familiar. Okay, thank you for letting me know. All right, who else do we have here? Jason Carpenter dropping another $5, says Halloween Ends and Scream 7 are far superior than weak sauce H2O. Sorry, Davey, didn't mean to be over the top. Ready for Obsession on what is it, May? Is it May 1st? When is it? Yeah, I'm so pumped for Obsession. I didn't even watch the second trailer because I do breakdowns for trailers, but certain movies like Obsession that are like, when it comes from a franchise, it's a lot easier to like look for Easter eggs and try to pick things apart. Like dissecting a Scream 7 trailer is a lot more fruitful than trying to dissect a trailer for Obsession. So that's why you don't always see trailer reactions from me. But yeah, Obsession looks great. And I don't hate H2O, but I would say both of those movies are better than it for sure. And no need to apologize for being over the top. I just, there's certain things I want to dance around because I don't want to upset any of my friends. I don't know Sean personally, but he, I don't know him, so I have no reason to say anything about him either way. But yeah, I mean, Cody and Jake, I love those guys, so they can feel the way that they want to feel. That's all right. They've earned it. They've earned it, right? Davey, who do you think the most underrated film composer is? I'd say one of them for sure is Mark Mancina. He did the score for Twister, Speed, and Bad Boys. I can't think of those scores off the top of my head. Man, that's a tough question to answer right off the top of my head. I did really like the guy that did the Black Phone 2. I think it's Atticus Ross. I think it's like his son or something like that. The Black Phone 2 composer. Atticus. Oh, sorry. Why did I think it was Atticus? His name is Atticus. It's Scott Derrickson's son. And he did the music for Black Phone 2. I think he did a really good job because it felt like it was like in line with the first movie. And I really enjoyed the music in Black Phone 2. One of the things I actually really liked about the Black Phone 2, because I didn't think it was that great. I guess I'll say that about that one. Okay, let's see here. I do got to head out, but let me make sure that I'm not missing anything from you guys. That's when my Dermot Mulroney love blossomed. And thank you again very much for the $5 super chat, Jason. You are awesome, man. You guys have been so incredibly gracious and giving with the super chats and the memberships and everything like that. It's been really, really cool to see. Thank you so very much. I don't, it's not about the super chats over here. They are just like a icing on the cake. It's really, really cool that you guys want to show your support to the channel. So thank you so very much. We got Erica hanging out. What's happening, Erica? Welcome on in. One of our great channel moderators here. Death Squad mods and a channel member as well. Erica, you missed the meat of the stream as far as the Kevin Smith. Oh God, imagine Kevin Smith coming in and doing Scream. It would just be just getting preached at for 2 hours. That would be interesting. Yeah, the Kevin Williamson Scream 8 news. So yeah, scrub it on back if you want to check that out. T. Parker says, I love Scream 7, but the DGG Halloween trilogy clears the Guy Busick Scream trilogy. Oh yeah, for sure. Speaking of Guy, he gots to go. Hire a better writer that knows Jill wasn't shot in the head. There you go. There it is. Yes, bring in somebody. T. Parker is laying it down. Bring in somebody that's not Guy Busick. Yeah, I think the DGG trilogy is a lot better than the last 3 Scream films. That's for sure. I like it just fine. Yeah, I don't hate on H2O, but the Michael Myers mask, some issues. Oh gosh, I don't know. They don't want any of my advice on this one. They should just get Ice 9 kills again because that'll make them money. Oh no, nothing. I'm just yeah, there was a super chat earlier where it just been brought up, people that didn't enjoy the film very much, and yeah, I mean, people can like what they like and not like what they don't like, and I just want to chat about it. So that's my my prerogative as this all goes. I can't wait. I need to get I've been waiting for Jake to reach out to me to jump on and have a chat. That's like the big one that I'm waiting for, because I think we would have an awesome Scream 7 chat. It would be really fun. Let's see here. What else do we got? Yeah, a lot of people were let down. Yeah, I mean, I really liked it. The middle of the franchise, which I think is still pretty good. I think it's better than 3, and I think it's worse than 3 of the movies in the franchise. So, yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Well, you guys are on one. Fetch the Sergeant at Arms, Master at Arms. Oh, okay. I got what's going on. We're talking semen talk. No, oh my gosh. Hey, fair, Nanette. No one is required to like Halloween Ends. No one is required to like Scream 7. For sure. And hey, if you gave it 5 times, I know people that saw Halloween Ends once in the theater, and they talk about it in a hateful way as if they can recall every single moment. And that's where I'm like, do you really know the film well enough to be talking about it, 3 years later, having not seen it a second time? That's when it starts getting a little crazy, right? Let's see here. Well, I meant seamen as far as like, you know, guys that work on ships, like seafarers. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Oh my gosh, you guys all, it's disintegrating in the chat. Okay, guys, I have got to hop on the road and get out to the theater and check out Undertone. I'm really looking forward to it. I didn't watch like any of the more recent trailers, and I haven't seen what anyone else has thought about it. I've just seen blurbs as I scroll past on social media. So I've seen really positive things. I've seen kind of middle of the road stuff. So I guess we'll just see. I'm pumped though to check it out at the Dolby. So if it's a movie that's got, you know, really intense audio, then this should be a pretty fun experience nonetheless. But thank you all so much for hanging out here. Because we reached our super chat goal, guys, I'm going to be live tomorrow, early afternoon, Arizona time. So keep an eye out for that. And then I'll be back on 7:30 p.m. Eastern with Jason from Backtrack Cinema. We're going to watch Friday the 13th, part 2, 3, and the final chapter, all back to celebrate Jason's big day. So how about that? I just want to call attention to the folks that threw out the super chats today. I love doing this at the end of every stream. Of course, thank you to all the Patreon members, the YouTube channel members. And guys, even if you're showing up, you're liking the stream, you're subscribed, you're sharing it with people that you think would dig this kind of content, that is awesome. Like everybody that's involved here, you know, we all have our different levels of involvement. Everyone is so very much appreciated. I just like to shine this little bit of extra light on the folks who go that extra mile. So we got Josh McKenna with a $1.99 super chat, Jigsaw with a 2, Jigsaw with a 5, Antonis with a 5, Jigsaw with a 2, Jason Carpenter with a 5. Eli is celebrating 19 months of channel membership. That is bonkers. Jigsaw with a 2. Talking Star Wars with a Canadian $5, Antonis Andriotis with a $4.99, Talking Star Wars with a Canadian $2, Jigsaw with a $2, and Jason Carpenter yet again another $5 super chat. You guys are absolutely incredible. Thank you so very much. I hope you all have a lovely night, and I will be back for so much streaming tomorrow. Oh my God. It's a good thing I have 3 energy drinks in my fridge waiting for me. So how about that? You guys are beautiful. I love you all so very much. Thank you again for kicking it. Make sure you've hit that liked button. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. Sometimes I go live at the last minute, and I don't want you guys to miss any little thing, but you all are beautiful. Have a lovely rest of your evening. And until next time, I've been and will continue being Davey Deathray. Take care.